And ladies and gentlemen, we are live at the extremely stormy Circuit of the Americas for the second round of Premier Sim Gaming League Season 38 in the PSF2 division. I'm your host, Otaku Logan. I am joined by Mr. T-Dub. 1 week before election, we're here in America. Oh, how fun this is going to be.
Especially with these adverse weather conditions in the at the start of qualifying. Paddle's probably more applicable than the wet compound tyres, and I think our drivers are in for quite the test early on.
Absolutely. I heard someone here is going to be making a speech in between the qualifying and the race, but I told them, no, you can't make a speech. We don't want to court controversy. We are a non-political organisation. So here we are. The Circuit of the Americas, no introduction needed. One of the best circuits on the calendar, in my opinion. It's been on since 2012 in the real F1 world. I can barely see what the cars are doing. As you can see, the kick Sauber in the wet through the corners. Of course, there is no room for error in the wet.
Yeah, you can see a few drivers have got the intermediate tyres loaded already. So similar to what we saw last week in Australia, we are going to expect the weather to subside a little bit, but I don't think it'll be for maybe a few minutes or so.
Yeah, just to let people know about last week, Soapbox got a 5-second penalty for causing a collision with George Ansell. And there was an NFA between George Ansell, Fraser, and Evan Nye. I do believe that was the incident on lap 12 at turn 12.
Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest race, was it, last week? But only one post-race penalty. So, yeah, maybe people agreeing differently with us. A couple of drivers are actually coming out on the intermediate tyres, though. Diogo Silva, Finlay, and also Nordic Ninja in the Williams.
So just to let you know, the current championship leader was last week's winner, Sergioli. Epic Vale behind with 13 points because he got the second place and the pole position. Just lost to his own teammate, though. So they have almost maximum points, 29 out of 30 for the Haas. Of course, the fastest lap went to nobody because the driver set it. Spanias finished 14th. So McKillany, you can't really see what's going on during the whatever. I'll just take this off so you can see. We were at the big hill up to the first corner, where Charles Leclerc had a send-it moment and went through to first place from P4. Then you're coming through these extremely fast S's. Oh, he nearly cut the corner. Any other day, that would probably be a time deletion. Time deletion. My goodness, I'm getting the hiccups from this weather. So here we come to up the hill and then over the crest, which is right here. Gets the hammer down and nearly loses it. And now into this tight left-hander before the long straightaway where a lot of moves will be happening, but DRS will be disabled for this session. I think it might be dry for the race, though. You see hurricane force conditions here. It is hurricane season after all, and I'm sure there was it Patricia in 2015 that caused...
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, they had to stop qualifying early, I think. Or did they move it? I think they stopped it early and then just went in the race Saturday. I'm surprised the race hasn't been cancelled due to weather. We're not counting Belgium because they awarded points, so like MotoGP, where they had to cancel the British Grand Prix, for all things. Motorcycles.
Yeah, not ideal. Thankfully, this won't be getting cancelled, though, as Miliki making his way through the final couple of corners through this long right-hander and has a massive snap of oversteer, just about keeps it pointing in the right direction. So we'll complete the lap without invalidating, but it'll be slightly slower than he would have liked.
So here comes through the final corner and still sliding out. This is quite unexpected at 148.132, and I'm sure that's about to be topped because we've got 17 other drivers here tonight. Hard to find one of them, at least, to be fair. One of them coming through is Evan Nye in the wet tyres. Some going on wets, some going on intermediates. Yano goes to the top. Now Evan Nye goes to the top with 147.775. If the conditions start to improve, we should see an improvement in lap time. So keep your eyes peeled on the timing tower as we go through the session.
Watching Finlay through the final sector on the intermediate tyres. Massive slide coming through the penultimate corner. Went off the circuit but didn't get it invalidated. Looks like those Inters really not up to speed at the moment. Over the line we go with the Silver Arrow, and it is slowest of the 5 times we have now, and by quite a distance as well.
Yeah, Fraser goes to the top with 3:39. Nordic Ninja with an unrepresentative time. For the next driver, which should be Gian, who is not invalid yet. It's quite easy to invalidate in this track, considering some of the fast turns you must navigate through, especially at the S's, and the final corners as well. Here comes Gian, right on the outside of the track. That's fair game. As long as he's got those two in, that's fine. P5, which is now P6 as Diogo Silva goes into P4.
Drivers on Inters are really, really struggling, not just to get the power down, but to just cruise through an apex. A lot of them running almost up to the white lines. You've got to stay off those curbs in these very wet conditions. Rumble with Chris on my side in the Red Bull coming through the final couple of corners. Another wobble for the Red Bull on this lap as ASRT Christian on the Inters goes only 11th. Huge load of understeer for the Red Bull through the final corner, and Chris is only going to jump up into 13th place.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the drivers and intermediates. There are 7 right now. Yasser Saki seems to be getting through okay, though. He will see the lap out, but that lap time will definitely need some work. I think it's time to put on the big blue boys, the blue tyres, the wet tyres. I do believe there's a new tyre for next season as well, a C6. We've already got C0 to 5.
As if they didn't need to make it any more complicated with the new sets of tyres. Nordic Ninja's going again after what I can only assume was a bank lap, up by a couple of seconds on the 55.6 and nearly dropping it, coming through turn 16 and 17. These intermediate tyres not appropriate at all. Look at this grip.
Austin Drift, when's that coming out? He knows when to pit now.
I think it's getting wetter. I think it's really starting to get wetter.
Yeah, well, this might be the quickest session in history. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in about 5 minutes. No, don't, please. But yeah, Fraser still at the top there with a 147.339. Evan Nice coming out on intermediates. He didn't set those, by the way. If you turn on best, you'll see the best lap time was in wets. The only driver in the top 10 on wet intermediates is Finlay with a 148.958. No, he's back on wets.
Yeah, I worry that this could be the end of the session. I'm not seeing any drivers finding any improvements.
Epic Vale will have to improve. He's got an unrepresentative time. So it will depend on pretty much a gentleman's agreement on when enough is enough. I don't think we'll be seeing that because, of course, this is a game.
Yeah, Kevin's down by half a second. Mick, I'm going to go with Mick down by 3 seconds. Jan is down by a couple of tenths as well. Janil down by 4 tenths of a second. Nobody improving as they're going again.
By the way, Yasser Saki saying, need to take a number 2. Well, sir, you are currently number 14. Oh, wait, now I know what you mean. Now I realise why they call them number 2 drivers. Sergio Perez especially.
Ouch.
Oh dear, I've done it now. Well, if they treat him like one, well, he's going to be one, isn't he? Anyway, sorry anyone that loves Sergio Perez. I think he deserves a better break from his team. Anyway, Epic Vale goes into the top 10.
Still nearly 2 seconds off the back of Fraser, though, so that really tells you how much worse these conditions are getting. We could have the second half of qualifying be quite the waffle fest, it has to be said, if we don't see these conditions improve anytime soon. It is absolutely bucketing it down at the moment, and those skies are looking very, very angry indeed.
It's probably the tears of the people who lose the election next week have come about a week early. After all, they are allowed to vote early. And that'll be the last I talk about politics in this broadcast. Thank you, and goodbye.
Excellent.
We didn't talk about issues concerning it, though, so I guess that's fair game. Satire? Anyway.
People are going out again, by the way. Finlay's come out again on the intermediate tyres. Evan Nye out again on the wets. Oh, it's a little bit unstable on this outlap. So people trying to find a bit of time. Nordic Ninja out again. I mean, you can hardly see through the gloom as they come down the hill. It's
so unsafe. Look at all that mist. Heck, I remember when they were in the Nürburgring and the fog cancelled the practice sessions that day. Poor Callum Ilott couldn't get to test the car. And guess who got his seat next year? Nikita Mazepin. Anyway, yeah, I wouldn't allow these conditions at all. I'd just move it to the next day. But hey,
Oh, I've seen a
happened?
sector improvement. It's Jan has found a tenth of a second through the first sector.
Oh,
Can he keep it
wow.
up? Got a Williams weaving in the way, coming down into
Collisions
the
are
second
off, remember.
heavy braking zone of turn number 12. A little bit unstable, just tapping the curb on the right-hand side. Rotates fairly nicely. We'll see what the sector time is. Are we still finding time? Match the middle sector. So this could be an improvement for the driver, currently holding down position number 6.
As you can see, that is the Williams of Nordic Ninja, I believe. No, it's Evan Nye, sorry. Jan making his way out of the corners. Now, is he going to improve? If he improves, then this will be very good for him. I don't think we'll be seeing the end of this session very soon, and he's invalidated. Don't call commentators curse, please. Please
I'm
don't.
not. What I am going to say, though, is I've seen drivers go
you.
further than that in this session and not get an invalidation. So I think Jan can maybe feel a little bit hard done by there, I'll be honest.
Both Williams are on a lap. Evan Nye first. Nordic Ninja as well. Nordic Ninja needs to put in a percentage. He's on the inters. He's improving. What? Are these conditions improving?
He is only on a 1 minute 55. That's what we need to preface this by.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Whoa! And an invalidation as well.
And it's gone. Evan Nye now on a lap, 4 tenths down, which sounds unacceptable if it was dry, but very acceptable if it's wet. Nordic Ninja needs to get on the board. He's 8 seconds down. And if the 107% rule was in place, he actually wouldn't be allowed to race, but that never, ever, ever, ever happened.
Yeah, very, very rare. Just remember the HRTs, the horrendous racing team, not Hispania racing team, getting caught out by that a couple of times. Finlay was actually up on the intermediate tyres through the first sector by a tenth, but has not troubled the apex of turn number 11. I wouldn't be surprised to see that Mercedes now leaking time down this back straight. So drivers still struggling to find where the time is, but we're starting to see that maybe the rain is subsiding just a tad.
Maybe. Still, people are really struggling. Yeah, but there was always this period between 2010 and 2012. My goodness, Finlay nearly loses it. But he's navigating this course very, very slowly. And, oh dear, he's glitching all over the place as well. That's not a pleasant sight.
Even Nye, half a second up through the first couple of sectors.
Wow, finally. But yeah, there's always been a period between 2010 and 2012 as we have a new fastest time from Evan Nye, 1:46.84. There's always a period of time between 2010 and 2012. There are always the 3 teams at the back that always got knocked out in Q1. And then one unlucky loser went out as well in the higher up teams.
One straggler.
Yeah. We called them very offensively, I think, was it David Croft? He called the 3 teams the usual suspects as Lawrence sends the fastest time and Chris Rebel gets up there in P3. Which was P2
really
at the time until Lawrence.
Them.
Yeah, it definitely is now. Now, Nassim going up there. I think Nassim is one of our reserves. Yes, he is. He is here in place of Frank Dershorny, who could not make it tonight.
Finlay still pounding around on the intermediate tyres. Found a second in the first sector. So I wonder if these inters are really going to start to come to the drivers in the lower reaches of the top 10 and outside of the top 10. We've got Sergioli still out there on the wets. TRT Zane is currently 8 tenths of a second up through the first sector. SRT Christian in the Scarlet Ferrari car now to the top.
On inters as well, T-Dub. Look at that.
I think they are the faster tyre now.
How did it improve so fast? Look, it still looks disgustingly bad out there. Or am I just not got my glasses on? I think I've not got my glasses on.
Oh, Finlay, be careful. He's purple in the middle sector, up by 2 seconds now. I think ASRT Christian's 46.2 could be eclipsed by the driver, currently holding down 12th place, barring any whoopsies in the final sector.
Whoopsies. Well, here he comes around the Istanbul Park-esque turn, which is actually the other way round, because of course we are... Well, actually, that other track, Istanbul Park... Whoa, no!
Oh, so poor.
So unfortunate. Anyway...
He's got to be careful for time-wise, by the way. Only 3 minutes to go. This is going to have to be a very quick turnaround.
He'll have enough time. Anyway, yes, as I was saying, the Istanbul Park is also run the other direction, but the turn, which is like that turn I just mentioned, I think it was turn 18... why is my controller rumbling, by the way? The turn is the other way. It goes to the left, not the right. Epic Vale is improving. He was our pole sitter last time. But has not seemed to get anywhere near in this session. But then again, the conditions are improving. And Christian goes over the bumps completely. I think he's trying to make it into the pits in time.
No chance. Absolutely no chance with 2.5 minutes to go. Diogo Silva knocks him off his perch first driver into the 1 minute 45s. Zane struggling at the moment down in 15th. Epic Vale is invalidated. A lot of big names needing to get a lap in. Sharpish Sergioli, last week's winner, only 16th, having not set a time on the Inters either, and doesn't look to be coming out on the track.
No, it doesn't seem like it. A lot of drivers opted to stay in. Evan Nye needs to bolt it, by the way. I think he'll make it. If he doesn't mess around, he won't make it. He's got about 15 seconds in hand, I'd say. Christian is not going to make it. Nassim is coming out. Or is that Chris Rebel? One of the Red Bulls is coming out. They will not have enough time. Unless they just, cheat. But that will get them a penalty, they know that. So, I don't think
19.
either... it looks like Sergioli's going around as well. Gian sets the top time. Look at that! 144, 182. Some of these drivers have really missed out on a good chance to improve their time, and it might fall right down the order. It's actually improving out there, and it's still bucketing down.
Yeah, timing is going to be key in the remaining 1 minute or so. You've got to be the last driver over the line. I think we could have quite the race in the final sector to try and make it over the line. Sergioli, who is 16th at the moment, last week's race winner, only just coming up to turn 11 now. No way is the Haas going to make it round.
Yeah, he's not looking like he's going to make it. So we'll just cut away from him now. Everyone trying to get out. Oh dear, this might be over for some drivers already. If they're not quick enough. Evan Nye, I think he'll make it. Yeah, he'll make it. Chris Rebel won't make it. Fraser's made it. McKillamy will make it. Finley will surely make it. Christian's realised he can't make it, so, well, he's still in the pits. Kevin's has made it. Sergioli, no, he's not going to make it. Way too far behind. Nordic Ninja is going to make it, so, yeah, a few drivers are going to miss out on a possible chance to set a time. Chris Rebel will have to stay out of contention. So here we go. All the drivers coming through the first few corners. So Chris Rebel, Sergioli will not make the line in time. And that will be it. Look, he's trying to cut the corner. He's not going to make it. He knows that he's not going to make it. So he's out. What the hell? What happened there? Oh, he probably just glitched around. Maybe crossing the line, and that'll be the end of his session. So, who have we got on a lap? We have Zane up to the top. Jan makes it a 1-2 for Aston Martin for now. But there's going to be more drivers coming in. Yano sets the fastest lap. Epic Vale sets the fastest lap. So whoever's last on the track has a significant advantage. Who might that be? I think it might be Evan Nye.
I think it's Finlay, actually, in the Mercedes, right at the back of the pack.
Yes, but he's got to perform it on the track. It's not just an advantage taken for granted. You've got to put out those miles. So, who is going to get what? So, we've got Chris Rebel. Oh, not Chris Rebel. He's, I think it's... Who is it coming across the line? It's Yasser Saki. Coleman coming across the line. He's only P2. He's 800ths down. Yasser Saki sets the fastest time by 2 thousandths. Fraser sets the fastest time into the 102s. 142s. McKelvey only manages P7. Diogo Silva coming across the line. Kevin's only managing 4th. Diogo Silva improving, but he's not improving enough. He's only P9. Now is Evan Nye going to get it? Finlay is coming across the line too. Nordic Ninja he's invalidated. Evan Nye's only 2nd, but can Finlay do it? Yes, he can! Finlay sets the fastest lap, 142.522, and gets it at the very last. Wow!
And it It was comfortable as well. 4/10 of a second. Oh no, it was 3/10 of a second.
But
Finlay on pole, stealing it from Fraser. Evan Nye leaving it late to get a lap in. Absolutely the correct thing to do. Only the top three inside a second of each other. Yasir Saki, Epic Vale, who was second last week, in fifth, a long way clear of his teammate. Kevin's good lap from himself, along with Coolman, Yanel Yan, and then Mick rounding out the top 10 there. Who didn't get a lap in on the Inters? Look at the bottom. Sergioli, Nordic Ninja, Chris Rebel, Nassim, and Lawrence.
These four
SRT
here.
Christian as well.
Yeah, these five here, Christian, Lawrence, Nassim, Chris Rebel, Sergioli, missed a golden opportunity. Of course, Nordic Ninja invalidated, so we don't count him. He was on a lap. Those five, between 13th and 17th, have missed out on a massive opportunity to get up the order, and they've just let it happen. By the way, it's not the start of the race, as we have mentioned. This is just for qualifying. The collisions are off, so we'll have to turn them on again, so we'll have to restart the session and reset the grids. Although they should split it, say, collisions off in qualifying, collisions on the race. But no, they've not.
While we do have that break, though, do you want to tell everybody about a couple of sponsors, maybe?
Oh, yeah. If you go to a lovely site called GT Omega, our title sponsor for Season 34 and beyond, the leading manufacturer of gaming peripherals, from gaming chairs to sim racing cockpits, you can improve your setup with GT Omega. Go check out their site at gtomega.co.uk and use PSGL at checkout for 5% off on GT Omega products. And you can tell us about the other sponsor we have.
Yeah, if that doesn't quite fill your boots, you can also head over to SRC Sim Racing Centre if you want some setup, some strategy advice, some coaching potentially as well. Head over there and use the same code PSGL to get 10% off their services.
Are we sure that's the correct, what's it called? The correct pit building? I'm sure it looks smaller. That's just probably me. It's much thinner in this game. Probably just using a different camera angle.
In case anyone
Evan
was
Nye,
unaware.
please. Sorry, even retire, thank you. Go on.
Well, no, that was what I was about to point out. We're still going, and the game also tried to make it very apparent to us that they have a drive-through penalty, which I've never seen before.
Might be a glitch.
No.
Anything's a glitch here. Imagine if Haas won a race. Not Haas, Kick Sauber. They won once. 2008 Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah,
Robert
that is
Kubica.
16 years ago. That is the
and it was briefly
matter.
the leader of the championship.
Yes, Robert Kubica. And
Wish he came back.
if I'm not mistaken, was it not a 1-2?
I do think so.
I think Nick Heidfeld in the other BMW Sauber may have been second as well.
To be fair, I put Canadian election. Jeez. I need to watch.
Yes, it was. It was a
It
BMW
was,
Sauber 1-2.
wow.
David Coulthard in third for a
Legend.
fetus Red Bull Racing.
Scottish legend. I saw him at the British Grand Prix on Thursday. On the first day of the weekend. He was doing his podcast with Eddie Jordan.
Oh.
Of all the teams, of all the people you do it, if you do it with your rival from back then. Can't wait for the Max and Lewis podcast. That would be something I'd love to listen to. I've never listened to the Joe Rogan Experience, though.
No.
I think it's mainstream enough to mention it, right? You know, they frown on free advertising a lot now.
Some of the names on this 2008 grid, by the way. Hamilton, Raikkonen, Alonso, Webber, Button, Rosberg, Vettel, Barrichello, Massa, Coulthard, Kubica,
Nakajima!
Kazuki Nakajima.
I preferred Kobayashi myself.
Oh, 100%.
Kobayashi. No, they should have brought him back, but he's went to Cadillac and IMSA now, so... Yeah. I remember he used to be Toyota through and through. He drove it pretty much from 2009 to his WEC days when he won it with. Did he win it with Toyota? I know Fernando Alonso won it.
But I think he did win it with Toyota.
Yeah, and so did Nakajima. They should bring Nakajima or Kobayashi to the Haas team along with Miata, but remember they've got Behrman and Ocon already.
Obviously, he made his debut for Toyota in the 2009 Brazilian Grand Prix, Kobayashi, but then ended up at Sauber for 3 years. Then took a year out, and then a year at Caterham, driving the ugliest car I think we have ever seen.
Someone's trying to restore that, by the way, on X.
Oh dear.
Yeah. It's not a scam, I believe it. It's not, like, properly restored. They had to borrow some parts from other cars, but it's just a ring. They have Franken cars for a reason, as they call them. You know, where they paint an old car the current livery.
Please tell me they're not doing the version with the horrible front wing.
They are.
Oh.
I don't know why. It's not the... Remember, they had 2 versions in 2014.
Yeah, the second one actually looked okay, because the colour was fine. It was just the actual shape of the car was horrid.
It was.
But then they fixed the front wing, and it looked okay.
Caterham team, another team that got 0 points in the 5 years they competed, as Lotus as well.
They came quite close a couple of times though. Brazil 2012, I think Vitaly Petrov was as high as 6th at one point. Heikki Kovalainen put in some good qualifying performances as well.
Yeah.
He got to have Q1 quite a few times in the early days of the Lotus / Caterham era.
By the way, Brazil 2012 was crucial to them to get 10th in the championship that race, which means they got prize money, which I think is unfair. I think all 12 teams, they do it for the Premier League, all the teams get paid. And they I thought they already got paid for, like, everyone gets paid equal TV rights. Like, they get paid a few million, saying £40 million in TV rights, which is a lot of money for clubs that get promoted to the Premier League. And remember the parachute payments to get relegated. I think when won the league last season, it was Leicester. No, it wasn't Leicester.
Yeah, it was Leicester.
It was Leicester. It was Ipswich that came second, and Southampton as well. And poor little Leeds predicted a riot, and they got one. They lost. Sorry. But yes.
Wow.
Leicester, those 3 teams, they got big bucks, especially Ipswich, because they hadn't been in it so many years. But they haven't won a game yet this season, Ipswich. And they should have won. They could have won. They should have won. They didn't win against Brentford on the Saturday. What a game that was, by the way.
They haven't, though, sacked their manager.
Erik ten Hag is gone from Manchester United, but wait, did you say Ipswich sacked their manager?
Haven't.
Oh right, yes, of course. I thought you said it for a second guessing myself. Yes, Erik ten Hag, of course. The big news being sacked from Manchester United. Ruud van Nistelrooy is now the stand-in for now. Rude of them to do that.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer Part 2, anybody?
No, I think Solskjaer has lost it. Not won it like he did 25 years ago. I remember someone had a bet on like a 15-way accumulator. I know I shouldn't promote gambling, but, you know, it's part of culture, you know. He had it on all the teams that won the leagues that year, including the Champions League. And he needed Manchester United to win the Champions League.
Well, that was a silly thing to predict.
This was 1999 when they won all three.
That was quite a good thing to predict.
Yeah, and they were behind, of course. We all know what happened that night. I missed the good old days of the Cup, by the way. Newcastle United were the losing team in that final, unfortunately. 1999, they lost to Arsenal the year before as well. What FA Cups were brilliant back then. They were on all day on Grandstand. Speaking of Grandstand, we're getting a race in 30 seconds plus setup time. Now it seems like, unless you're a little team, it's lost the magic. They've got all the replays gone.
I enjoyed the whole Barclays men thing that we saw recently, going back 10 years in the Premier League. I've just actually seen a classic Barclaysman bit of news. Mario Balotelli has signed for Genoa in Serie A.
He's still playing? I thought he retired.
He is 34 and still flying high in the
I
top
thought he
flight
was
of
like
Italian
40.
football.
Balotelli, Aguero. I swear you will see this again because we're going to go race. We've had two
The
moments like
weekly.
that. We had an Aguero moment before Aguero scored the winning goal for Manchester City in Formula One and
Oh, we did.
Premier League football as well. Well, First Division. It was 1989. Unfortunately for Liverpool, they lost in the last minute to Arsenal on the delayed last game of the year. Obviously, of course, what happened earlier, very tragic, which meant the game had to be postponed. And yes, they lost the championship thanks to, is it Thomas of Arsenal? He scored. They had to win by 2 goals, and they did because the goal difference, and they won the game to win 2-0 to win the league championship that year. Of course, Liverpool won it
25, no, more than that. 35
35.
years on, still both of them battling at the top of the league.
Unlike then, where they're
Almost.
Williams or, well, actually 1989, it was all McLaren. All McLaren between 1988 and 1991.
Beautiful cars, those.
McLaren dominance in the 80s could bore fans. Right, 30 seconds away, I'd admit, before the start of the US Grand Prix. We've been waffling on more than cooking waffles for breakfast. The pole sitter is Finley with the last gasp lap of the session. I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. We're about to go racing in the great state of Texas. Texas. Taxes. Two things guaranteed in life, death and Texas.
Couldn't agree more. People are taking quite a while to get the setups loaded.
Well, it is very important. They cannot change it during the race. They've got 29 laps of this madness.
Maybe there's rain on the horizon, judging by that cloud
I thought it was
cover
supposed
that
to be
we've got.
sunny.
It ain't sunny, my friend.
I'm sure that pit building looks different. Kota pit building. Just let me know if we're starting. I'd love to go to Kota, by the way. It's a gorgeous track. It is right. It's just, I don't expect it to be that close to the track.
It is a good atmosphere as well, you would imagine. This is taking...
Oh, it's Austin, the live music capital of the world. One of the better
Austin,
cities
Texas.
as well.
This
One
is
of the better
taking quite
cities.
a while.
Yeah, hold on. Patience, please. We do apologise for our impatience. I'm just waiting very, very patiently. You gives me more time to prepare. I just say family taking quite a while. It has been. But
The
we shall
strategy
wait.
must be an absolute mind melt.
5 stops. Doesn't look like it's raining.
It looks very overcast. Very, very overcast.
Maybe it's just the
indeed.
Dementors from Harry Potter.
At least the people in the grandstand or the stand above the pit box are having a good time. Look at them punching their fists. They're absolutely going for it.
I think I see why they're taking long. A certain person is making a speech and everyone's going crazy. After all, we are in Texas.
Oh,
Here we go. We have 5 lights ahead of this shootout in Austin, and we are underway. Who is going to make it to the top of the hill first and claim first place honours? It looks like Finley has covered the inside. Is there going to be a move on the inside? It's free wide for second place between Yasser Saki, Epic Vale, and Fraser. And they're still going free wide heading into the second turn. And it looks like Fraser is going to try and keep it together as, oh my goodness, Saki nearly got him, but he's not going to do it. There's very mixed grids, as you can see today, although it's not really friendful of the first round, which was a Haas dominance race. As you can see now, Finley, Fraser at Saki coming through. Christian is battling with, oh dear, there's a bit of a kerfuffle out of the S's, and that is involving Christian, Diogo Silva, and I think Jan as well. Jan, oh dear, that is a very dangerous thing to do. Mr. Nassim, he nearly runs into the back of Diogo Silva, but luckily, oh, and he's run Lawrence off the track as well. That's a bit naughty. Might be investigated for that come at the end of this race, and they're still battling further back. It is still Finley ahead in the lead, but look at this battle. 3 wide into the corner, and it's Nordic Ninja that's going to battle, and Nassim's already got a penalty. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and don't tell me about what happened in Texas. We all know what happened. We all saw it. So it's going to be another battle in the slow sector 3, and it's going 2x2 at the back between Nassim, Nordic Ninja, Chris Rebel, and Lawrence, but it's still Finley in the lead.
Yeah, Nassim and Lawrence actually came to blows at turn 1. That's what started it all off. It looked like the Rebel got launched into the air by the Alpine car. No damage appears to have come to either driver. Massive wobble for Nassim coming out of the final corner, seemingly struggling with these hard compound tyres. Every driver on the white striped hard tyres, so maybe that says to us there's a bit of rain coming. Jostling for positions down into turn 1. Sergioli trying to recover from a poor qualifying session, pushing the Aston Martin of Jan down into unlucky 13th. And Nordic Ninja makes mincemeat of Nassim.
Yes, absolutely. And Epic Vale is gaining on Yasser Saki. Epic Vale was not the cleanest in the S's, so he's going to be under fire from Epic Vale. The driver that got pole position in the first round finished second place in the second round. Sergioli down in 12th, having a difficult time down there this weekend. DRS enabled in lap 2 now, as we know, for this game. So who is going to come out on top? This could be the first battle of the race for the lead. And will it be Fraser that gets through? He's looking for a move, but he decides to go against it, and everyone else does as well. Further back, though, we have a battle between Kevin's and Yanel, but it looks like Kevin's going to hold on for the meantime. The two Aston Martins have had a collision, it seems like, and Zayn and Jan shouldn't be doing this, though. There are a team as well, and look who's behind them, Nordic Ninja. And Epic Vale has just been passed by Yasosaki. Oh, no, I think he was ahead at the point. Yeah, Sergioli gets ahead of Diogo Silva, now up into 11th, one off the points. But yeah, I think Epic Vale and Yasosaki were battling, and Yasosaki is holding on to his third position for now. Coleman right behind Evan Nye as he head on to lap number 3 of 28.
I don't think Epic Vale will be too pleased with what he saw from Yasosaki through turns 14 and 15. I think we saw the real-life racing regulations come to fruition there. Epic Vale was alongside, but he didn't have his front wheels fully alongside Yasosaki. Wasn't really given a lot of space on the exit coming out of turn number 15. Bit of a shove, but matters not as we continue on. Even now, losing a little bit of time to that quartet out in front. Sergioli has managed to get past Diogo Silva as well, getting up into 11th, now just outside the points.
Just like the mid-2010s again, a Mercedes in the lead, ahead of a Sauber, and ahead of the Renault or Alpine. I know it was Lotus back then as well. So they are still battling. If you look with E. Finley's rear view, you can see how close those drivers are, especially the top 4. Now Fraser's going to make his move. The Sauber is in the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Ahead of the Alpine, perhaps. He's going for a move on the inside. Finley nearly pushed off the road, actually was pushed off the road, but he defends the position. Very nice racing from these two, but can they keep it clean heading into the next turn? It is going to be Yasosaki on the inside of Epic Vale trying to defend his third place spot, but Epic Vale's having none of it. He swoops through into the podium positions, and now will be chasing down Finley for second place.
Clean around the outside, tried it on the previous lap, it didn't work, tried it on this attempt, and he does get up into the podium places, making the most of Yasosaki and Finlay holding each other up. In there they will scrap for what was second place. Evan Nye under pressure from Coolman in the battle for 5th and 6th. That'll be very close behind the Williams. As is Finlay. Is he thinking about a move into turn number 1? No, opts to just bump draft the Sauber down into that hairpin corner.
I think that's a smart move. Coleman moves into 6th, 5th place with a move on Evan Nye up the hill, and will now be chasing down Yasosaki 3 attempts ahead. Look how close these drivers are. It's only lap 4, and you'd think it's the start of the race. Well, it's not. So Finley is going to have to play some catch up now, and he's going to be laying more cash up if he can't get Epic Vale off his back, and a bit of a slide from Epic Vale, that might help his chances. But Yasosaki right behind as well, he's got to be focused on that. You look at all the wings, by the way, the Alpine one looks much wider on the front nose. Just say back there behind, Nordic Ninja has lost position to Nassim. Not much change until this moment here. Finley's going to try and take back the lead. Is there a response from Epic Vale? There is not. He stays behind. So Finley back in the lead of this Texas race.
And Sergioli inside the points playing positions as well. Big kerfuffle going on behind those two. TRT, Zane, Diogo Silva and the Aston Martin of Jan getting stuck into each other, as is the two in the battle for second and third, because Epic Vale rinse and repeat from what he did on the previous lap, but this time it was up the inside of Fraser to move up into second place.
And a bad day for the Red Bulls. I wonder where I've heard that before. The two Red Bulls behind Nordic Ninja are just struggling to get anywhere today. Only Lawrence, who's just pit. Only Lawrence, who's just pit, is behind them.
Sergio Early's coming through now. Fastest lap of the race for the driver in 10th place. Started right at the back of the field, but already in the points paying positions. Very late on the brakes down to turn 1. Almost clattered into the back of the Ferrari of ASRT Christian. This big train still goes all the way down to P17. Then it's Lawrence who came in for a set of the medium compound tyres. Everybody else obviously on those white striped hard tyres still. Everybody snaking through the S's. Finlay out in front, but Epic Vale I think is looking ominous in second place.
Snaking through is quite the understatement. It is a ridiculous sequence of corners. We shall move on, as you can see now, coming through to the long stretch, which determines a lot of overtakes. As you can see, Epic Vale going to the side there, trying to play some tactical games here. Will he get to Finley in time, or is he going to let Fraser through? No, he's not. He's just defending his position.
Oh, getting very close in the middle of this train, even Nye and Janil. Janil with an interesting exit coming out of turn number 12, but holds onto position. Kevins was under pressure from TRT Zane, the Aston Martin losing out on 11th position to the McLaren car. Diogo Silva struggling as well, down in position number 14.
Oh, someone's lagging. I think it's Evan. Or was it Coleman? I can't remember.
Yeah. He's taking some interesting lines, that Williams car, and Janil is certainly keeping his distance in that battle for 6th and 7th place. Coolman, though, managed to get through without any issues and pulling out of the slipstream once again, the drivers on the run up towards turn number 1.
Yeah, no move from Epic Vale yet. Fraser's going to close in as well. So the drivers are starting to bunch up again. See Epic Vale in the Haas there. It'll be occupied by Oliver Behrman and Esteban Ocon next season. Not got that Toyota Gazoo Racing label on the back that they do now, but I'm sure that'll be in the next update.
The DRS train's been broken, by the way. Kevin's in the McLaren, currently 11th, really struggling at the moment. 1.3 seconds off the back of Sergio. He could get gobbled up down the main straight with the Aston Martins looking to pout first on the scene. Will be Zane and then Jan as well. Was that a drop of rain I saw? I don't think so.
Let's see, I don't see anything yet. As Epic Vale doing his old tactics again, going to the inside to probably defend the position and prevent anything happening. We've got some battling behind. No, it's Evan Nye and Cool. No, it's Janil. Janil coming through, and he's going to try and cover the inside. Apologies for the bad camera angles as they continue their battle through the third sector, and I think McElhenney is going to try his say, making his way onto a move for P7, but he doesn't seem to get it out there, and will have to stay behind for now.
The Kicksauber certainly wanted a piece of the action, wanted to push even Nye down 2 spots in a matter of just a couple of corners. Sergioli also getting ahead of ASRT Christian. The Haas continue with their charge towards the podium places, now holding 9th, could be 8th very, very shortly.
Well, look at, you see, he's just stuttering there. Did you see that? He just stuttered a lot as he makes his move on Janil, trying to get the place back, and it looks like it's not working. And McElhenney battling with Sergioli. Sergioli trying to get through now, and he just gets out of the way and letting McElhenney through into the S's. That was a close call. But yes, it is seeming a bit lackey. Oh, there's a bit of contact.
Bit of contact. That was almost an aeroplane crash because it was McKillany into the back of Evan Knight. Maybe a bit of lag involved as well, but certainly a sideways moment for both drivers, keeping it on the black stuff. Sergio now all over the back of the Kick Sauber. SRT Christian having a look up the inside into 11 as well. Bit of contact again, this time between the Sauber and the Haas. And a wobble to boot as well on the exit of 12.
Yeah, and he's fallen well behind there. Half a second out of the gap. Is there going to be a change for the lead, though? Is Epic Vale going to have a say in this? He was thinking about it. Coming inside, my goodness. The cars behind probably got a fright there. It seems to have broken a lot into the turn.
Everyone concertinaing up, and if that will continue for 28 laps, little look up the inside for Fraser, trying to make the most of a tiny mistake for Epic Vale. Saw a small gap, tried to push his Kick Sauber up the inside, but it wasn't quite large enough, having to hold station in third place. Yasisaki was smelling a potential opportunity, and now Epic Vale goes straight through. No, bit of lag from Finlay there.
What the hell? What is Fraser doing? Fraser seems to be going very slow out of turn 19. And Yashirsaki doesn't like that. I don't know what's going on with Fraser there. It seemed like he just got very slow for you. You can see Saki was much faster than him out of the turn. He just seemed very slow, but well, I'm just speculating. But yes, Fraser did touch Epic Vale into the turn, and that was thankfully not a damaging incident, or it would have been very fatal for them indeed. That was out of turn 15.
How long do you think they're going to play this game of chicken for? Everybody so far from first down to fifth has been fairly content at staying in formation. Epic Vale, though, has just been putting a little bit of pressure on Finlay in the last couple of laps to try and get on with it a little bit, just shadowing the Mercedes moves. Are we going to see an overtake down into turn number 12 now for Epic Vale? Last week's pole sitter, last week's runner-up, moves over to the inside. Will it be a contest of who's bravest on the brakes? No, ducks in behind.
Yeah, no one taking any chances as of now, and it is quite early days to be fair. It is lap 8, two McLarens having a battle, and that's involving Nordic Ninja. Oh dearie me, Chris Rebel getting very aggressive with Nordic Ninja, and we'll have to push him aside, and Nordic Ninja doesn't like that one bit. He's going to try and make the move, and the inside of 15th, now they're going side by side. Oh, and they're touching him now. Red Bull getting a bit feisty, and my goodness, how did they keep it together? Great racing from Nordic Ninja there, keeps it together despite all of the aggression from the Red Bulls. I mean, Red Bull by name, Red Bull by nature, and Nordic Ninja remains in P15. And Epic Vale does not want to get past Finlay. I don't know what it is, he just doesn't want the lead. So McKillany's went off the track, he had a fight with Evan Knight. I think he got a fright from Evan Knight. Sergio and Christian going side by side. And Christian in 8th place, Sergio in 9th, and McKillany down in 10th.
Yeah, last week's winner, Sergio, really caught out by that mistake from the Kick Sauber of McKillany. He just went way too deep on the brake, spooked a little bit by the mistake from the green machine, and dropping behind that Ferrari once again. That's another little bit of work that the Haas is going to have to do. All
drivers except Lawrence on their 9th lap of running these tyres. I'm actually going to take it off because I'm going to put this on. You can see Sergio went from P17, second last in the 9th row, now P9. Great work from the, well, pretty much they nearly collide again. The leading cars as Lawrence gets a penalty. He's down in last place. Yeah, Sergio fighting to the top, showing his true racecraft. Great to see that he's making his way up and why he is a championship leader. Although it's just after one round, he seemed like a driver that's going to be tough to tame in this season. Only the second round, of course, 12 in this season, I think. I do believe it's 12, yes. So keep your eyes peeled on this entire season. A lot of twists and turns to come. We're about to complete the first third of this race here in Texas, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be any rain yet. The drivers starting lap number 10.
Yet being the key word. I have to say, though, all of the drivers in this leading group playing with fire to quite the extent down into the low-speed corners. They get very close to the back of one another. All it takes is one mistake from somebody in the queue clattering into the back of one car, and then we see that massive chain reaction effect. And you've got to be honest, surely it's going to happen at one point in the next 18 laps or so. Fraser was looking up the inside of Epic Vale there through the S's. Not a traditional overtaking point as Kevins picks up a 3-second penalty. I think Fraser starting to get maybe a little bit frustrated in third.
Yeah, he is, and he really needs to get up these positions because if it rains, then it'll be really tough to make an overtake. It will all be about strategy at that point, especially at the crossover point. But now Fraser has got Epic Veil ahead of him, and Epic Veil has been pretty much refusing to make the move, and I totally understand why, but you can't be this stubborn for long. As there's a move behind again. This is Coleman and Yanil, and Coleman ghosted there now. Loses position to Yanil. A bit of Bargy as well, but Yanil now takes position. That might be looked at if he's not happy, but Yanil there in 5th place for now.
I think that ghosting potentially saved Coolman there. Looked like the pair of them were set on a collision course, so Coolman only losing 1 place is more agreeable to losing 10 places and having half a front wing as well as facing backwards. So we continue on with the Mercedes getting past that V-carb. Sergioli still hasn't managed to re-overtake the Ferrari of ASRT Christian, so the Haas will be frustrated a little bit, but with how congested the field is, the undercut could be very, very powerful indeed.
Absolutely, especially when we get to this kind of point. That is Jan on the inside of McKillany for the points position, trying to hold it, and he does. So he will stay in P10 for now. Further down, there is not much battling happening. The Red Bull's still P15 and 16. Fraser still closing up to Epic Veil again. I think Epic Veil needs to be concerned that not only is he, when he is not fighting ahead, he could be fighting behind if he's not careful. So keep your eyes peeled on that one as we come out of the 11th turn and start turn number 12. Or run down to turn number 12, that is.
A couple of people starting to struggle with their rear tyres. I'm noticing a few slides coming out of turn number 11. ASRT Christian think about making a move up the inside of even Nye. The Williams does go defensive. Way too low on the base. Clatters into the V-carb of Coolman. Definitely some front wing damage coming off the Williams car there. Was spooked by the Ferrari. Thinking about a move around the outside. I think Evan Nye is going to pay a heavy, heavy price for that mistake. Yeah,
he's got wing damage. There's another battle happening behind him. That's Sergioli and Christian. I think Sergioli's going to get another position as well once Evan Nye pays his dues. You see, he's going right in the inside. He's wasting no time. He gets to work and gets the position done. That's a great move from Christian. And there's another damage. That's damage for Sergioli. Sergioli has damage. How unlucky is that? Our championship leader after the first round is in the pits. He has damage. And we've lost T-Dub. T-Dub, come in.
Hello, yes. Sorry, yeah. It was Sergioli having to check up behind Evan Nye, who was understeering like an absolute boat down into the penultimate corner. And then I think Sergioli just caught out by that a tiny bit, picking up that damage. Could be a race ruiner if we don't see a safety car now. Even Nye, I don't know why the Williams hasn't come into the pits because losing time and places hand over fist now.
Yeah, he's just been passed by Jan through the curves. Now he's got to pit. There's no doubt about it. He's just holding Zane and Diogo up.
Hurting the race of a decent number of drivers, and somebody like Jan and Zane, they're going to be counting their lucky stars if they remain in the big DRS train. We've got a yellow flag because that's a McLaren facing the wrong way, and it's Kevin's off through turn number 11.
Oh, Fraser nearly gets to Epic Veil, but he can't do it. He can't make the move. So that Evan Nye has caused a lot of interference, in my opinion. If he didn't, and if you come in, then Sergioli would still be on the track.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit tetchy now between some of the drivers. I think they're starting to get a little bit frustrated, a bit like bulls in cages for the first 12 laps of this race so far. Still a decent chunk away from the pit stop window. It's going to be very interesting to see. Coolman with a mistake there, just got balked behind the Mercedes of Yano running wide through the final corner, but ASRT Christian not close enough to try and counteract the mistake from the RB.
And again, the top driver's not making any moves, and the V-carb of Coolman is going to be allowed to close up now, it seems. That's a lovely livery, by the way. I should change their name, though. McKillany is still fighting up there in 8th after his mistake, where he lost a couple positions. Kind of reminiscent of Guan Yu Zhou, by the way. Another teammate, as Evan Nye has finally pit and is rejoined in 17th place, promoting Sergioli to 16th.
So what does Sergio do here? Try and extend those mediums to the end of the race, or do we hope and pray for a safety car? Getting those mediums, 16 laps? It's going to be a tall order. Probably is possible, especially because there isn't the effect of the dirty air. But yeah, that's going to be a painful rest of an evening's action for last week's winner.
Yeah, none of them using their energy. None of them are messing around. They just seem like they're just chilling up the top. Not very ideal if you're a pure racing fan, but that is some racing sometimes. Not just Formula One, it's all levels. Sometimes we just wait for the opportune moment. And sometimes it's just no overtaking at all. And that's unfortunately racing sometimes. It's not all about overtakes, it's about getting the car to the line the fastest.
And I have to say as well, a lot of the overtakes we have seen have actually come from mistakes from other drivers. Jan blinking, wanting to get out of the DRS train, jumping into the pits for what I can only assume will be the yellow stripe medium tyres. Will that start the cascade of other drivers coming in? Nordic Ninja also bites the bullet from 14th in the Williams.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Fraser... Fraser has lost position in this race. Epic Vale started 5th and now is in 2nd. Nordic Ninja and Evan Nye, 2 Williams in now. I'm sure they are not going to double stack because, Nordic Ninja's already fit. So Evan Nye come out and you have no interference in his pit stop. Yasser Saki starting to close up to Fraser, but now seems to have lost that advantage. Now he brakes very late into turn 11. Now he might have an opportunity, but I don't see it happening.
Because of how congested the field is, any tiny mistake could be punished very, very severely. Fraser actually went way too wide going through turn number 7 at the start of sector 2, but wasn't punished for it. Yasisaki was right underneath the rear wing of the Kick Sauber, and again sniffing for an opportunity to try and get 3rd place. Likewise, Epic Vale all over the rear end of the Mercedes of Finley, but still just can't find a way pie on the more unregulation parts of the circuit and unwilling to make a move with the DRS. So yeah, still all of them happy to sit in formation, although Epic Vale almost pushing Finlay round the final couple of corners.
Now, what's going on with Finlay? He seems to be going very slow, but he seems to have got that gap back. Epic Vale maybe used some of his battery. So, is there going to be a move here? I think I know what the answer is going to be. Zane is going to just pit as we come through. And is that damage? Is that damage? Did I just see something fly off?
I can't see any damage for anybody. I think it would be Coolman or Yano. Neither of them with cosmetic damage. SRT Christian shadowing every move of the V-Carb going through the S's. But once again, the Ferrari can't quite force that Scarlet car alongside. Coolman almost rolling out the red carpet for the Scarlet red car. And again, Coolman a little bit wide, but SRT Christian unable to punish the little mistakes. Now, though, we've got an opportunity. Dumping the ERS down into turn number 11. It's a drag race. Who's going to be braver? On the brakes, bit of lag, bit of contact as well. Front right tyre to side pod. Coolman holds it for the time being.
He's got to get him here, though. Surely the Ferrari of Christian trying to pass as up the top. There's still not going to be any change of order at the top. Now, what is happening between Christian? And he's trying to get McKilmy away from him as much as possible, but that's not going to happen very easily. But he is going to hold position for now. But is there going to be any response from McIlhenny into the turn? Evan Nye gets onto the penalty board. He's already broken his wing and had to pit, so he is down in last place. Not much changing happening at all, as I'm starting to feel an earthquake in my room. I think it's the washing machine.
We are seeing more and more mistakes, though, as people have to be incredibly precise and accurate in this very congested and very long DRS straight. Diogo Silva, who was at the back of the leading train, now jumps into the pits as well. So are we seeing some of these guys, the likes of Finlay, Epic Vale and Fraser, missing a trick potentially, not coming in for the undercut? We're going to have to wait and see where Diogo Silva comes out in relation to the likes of Jan and TRT Zane.
Absolutely. So, again, no sign of rain on the horizon. And as you can see, all these drivers pitting. Chris Rebels pit. Diogo Silva, of course, has pit. Sergio will now move up to 12th. And basically has had to start from the back of the grid. Should just get the tyres on now. He's on 4-lap old mediums. I'm sure they'll get to the end of the race. But they're not as healthy as the other drivers that are going to be on mediums. It is starting to get really dark out there. But I don't think it's going to change.
By the way, crucially, Jan is in a fantastic position on those medium compact tyres because Kevin's is doing him an absolute solid, backing his teammate Diogo Silva and Sergioli, who's just been passed by the McLaren through turns number 9 and 10, away from Jan. That gap is now 3.3 seconds. He's only 8 seconds off the back as Nassim, as Zane finally disposes of the A-Link McLaren car, and I think his teammate's going to make mincemeat of him as well.
That's his teammate as well, is Zane. As now, basically, each other's teammates have ruined each other's races. Can you believe that? And Nordic Ninja's up to 14th now. Back at the front, no, it's no change, and they're finally coming in. They're coming in to make a pit stop, and Yasser Saki as well. Fraser is staying out. So here we go. Yanil and Coleman out as well. What about the others? McKillney's in, Nassim is not in. I'm sure these guys are going to be staying out. Kevin's has actually not pit yet, so everyone going on to mediums now.
Jan's going to lead this race. Jan is going to lead this race. The Aston Martin's been absolutely rapid. The undercut paying off absolutely beautifully as the Aston Martin takes the net lead of this race by a country mile. They're not even in the same postcode. 2.5 seconds. The other Aston Martin getting stuck in, though, as the other drivers spat out of the pit lane into the path of him.
2.5 seconds to lead now for Jan. But remember, he has 3-lap older tyres, so he will have to have a long slog near the end of the race. So we've got to keep watching right at the end how the tyres are doing near the end of the race. So the top 4 are yet to pit. They will have to pit now, and it's not looking good for them.
We've got a race on our hands here now, though. That pack that was so comfortable and content just cruising their way around, almost driving one-handed, they're now going to chase after this Aston Martin. Epic Vale finally decides 17 laps too late that he wants to dispose of the Mercedes of Finlay and gets up into 6th position.
Yeah, he has no choice now. He's got to be aggressive, has Epic Vale. All these drivers have to be aggressive. He's 2 seconds behind. He's going to have to use a lot of his battery as well if he wants to put some pressure on Jan and try and keep all of the other drivers in the pack coming for his win, I have to say, as the leaders are starting to pit. Nassim now is choosing to stay out, so he will actually lead the race. And I know what you're saying, stop the count. No, that's not how it works. 11 laps to go as Fraser, Coleman and Yanil all pit for new medium tyres, and they will have the youngest life of all of those tyres. So Jan will now come out ahead. Where are the others coming out? Oh, they're way down the order, I think. Oh, no, they're not. They're not. No, they are. They are. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong driver.
Yasser Saki, meanwhile, has got past Zane down into turn 1. That's position number 6. Nassim clearly trying to goal hang for a safety car, you would imagine, staying out this late. Or maybe wanted to put the soft compound tyres on, but I mean, you're just resigning yourself to finishing last at this point in that second Red Bull car. Jan is being gained on, though. That gap now 1.3 seconds. Epic Vale and Finn, they're using the advantage of a couple of lap fresher tyres. But eventually that is going to even out. So Jan, he's got the track position at the moment. If he can just baby those tyres for a couple of laps longer, could still be in a very strong position, albeit with an angry pack chasing after him.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be one heck of a finish. I can guarantee that. Epic Vale is now 1 second down. He's right within DRS range. We've got some moves. It's McKinley and Nordic Ninja and Coleman and Sergioli, crucially as well for Sergioli in this championship. So P14 now for Sergioli. He needs to make these positions up if he wants to get a tidy sum of points.
He's only going backwards, though. Fraser on the move down into turn number 14 and 15 up the inside, and Nordic Ninja, who's on 4-lap old medium tyres. The Sauber sends it up the inside. Textbook stuff, and gets up into the points.
Where can I buy those textbooks, by the way? I know they're very expensive. We're talking $300 in this region. But hey, it's a textbook. I might need it to graduate college. Anyway, college football was Saturday, though. Here it comes. Is that Christian on the inside? Is Zane? It is. And he is going to make the move. Is there a switchback? No, there is not. So 7th place goes to Christian now. Epic Vale is right behind Jan. This is for the net lead because Nassim is nowhere near. It's just goal hanging for a safety car, as you said. Teed up. And Epic Vale is just getting very impatient now, but he can't get too impatient. Finlay's right behind you.
He's got so much more grip. He's going to have to use it in the next couple of laps, though, because, like I said, those medium tyres, they're only 3 laps apart, and they are going to even out eventually. So this is go time.
Here we go.
For last week's pole sitter and runner-up. But look at Finlay nibbling at the heels of the pair of them. We could be 3 wide down into turn number 12. Jan's going to get gobbled up. Epic Vale takes second place, the net race lead, and Finlay files through also.
And it's back to what it was, but this time reversed. Epic Vale leads net if we're not putting Massim in the picture. It's Epic Vale, Finlay, Jan, and Saki. And by the way, the 2 NLR drivers of Yanil, and that's Coman as well. Oh dear, that was a very nasty collision between the 3. Look, how are they not getting damage? They're barging at each other, and somehow they've not got any damage. They were fighting like a Royal Rumble, and still did not get any damage on their car. It's only for like 11th place, but still, gotta have some honour in this. He goes to the inside, does Coleman, can't make the move, so Yanil will take it, and now he'll have dibs on Coleman. Is that, that's the scene just getting out of the way, sorry.
Sergioli into the pits, potentially to retire. Nassim has been caught. Epic Vale and Finlay have got through. Yes, Sergioli out of the race in the pit lane. Shouldn't bring out a safety car.
No, he's in the pits.
Hoping. Yeah,
he's in the pit. Nordic Ninja has had a spin battling Coleman, so he's lost position there. And that means Sergioli...
Whoa!
What's happened?
Jan up the inside. And the seam absolutely sent it. The Red Bull on those very old hard combat tyres, about the same speed as a bus through the S's at the moment. Yasir Saki now all over the back of Jan. SRT Christian all over the back of Yasir Saki. We've got quite the cork in the bottle that's just been removed from the champagne. I think they're going to start spraying it down into turn 12.
Yeah, and it seems losing a lot of ground. Is that a battle for the lead? No, it's not. They're staying behind him still. Who's going to get this position here? It looks like Saki's going to hold on. There's lots of fighting behind as they shuffle through into turns 13 and 14, and 15 coming up soon too. Watch out.
Christian up the inside, contact between Christian and Jan. Had a look up the inside into 15, just tapped the back of the Aston Martin. I think Diogo Silva and McKinley doing something very similar into 15. Now the Kicksauber trying to swing it around the outside of the McLaren, but unable to.
So come alive in Texas shootout at the Circuit of the Americas as well and truly on as the seam finally bails into the pits. He has damage anyway, so he'll have to make the stop as it is going to be these drivers that are leading the race. Look at the gap now, 2 seconds between first and second. Second and third, I do apologise, as Fraser and McKelmy are battling teammates. And Fraser's now got a penalty. That's no help at all. McKelmy also has a penalty, so the Kicksaurers are pretty much out of the picture now because they're all going to be close, finishing very close together. Zane is right on the heels of them too. Yeah,
and I tell you what, is not going to be sending any Christmas cards to the seam. Kevin's has retired, but that is in the pits. That Red Bull was in the worst position possible for Jan when he came up to the back of him. Held him up an absolute treat through the first sector. It's probably going to cost him a podium place and a few more positions as well, because ASRT Christian's still all over the back of the Aston Martin. And once again, Diogo Silva shadowing every move of the Ferrari also.
2 leaders, though, are now coming up close, but yet again, not making any moves. Oh my goodness! Right up there. But thankfully, backs out, brakes before it's too late. Ronit Ninja and Chris Rebel are getting it on into turn number 12. And it is going to be Chris Rebel, number 12, in turn number 12.
Finlay with that classic brown pants moment down into turn number 12 there, heart in mouth quite literally, as he almost ploughed into the back of the race leader Epic Vale, nearly took the pair of them out, and Yasir Saki would have been praying that is exactly what happened, because I don't think that Alpine has got the pace to try and catch up. Certainly not. Jan behind, who's under pressure. SRT Christian snapping at the gearbox of the Aston Martin, trying to force his way through. Jan has DRS, but it's going to be a sitting duck down the straight. Through goes Christian.
Through goes Christian into P4, and that is Diogo Silva getting feisty as well. He wants to get into P5. Jan, who was up there, by the way, amongst possibly leading the race, has now fallen down to 5th, and now will have to fight with Diogo Silva for trying not to get relegated down to P6, as Finlay is still behind Epic Vale. The roles have reversed in this game of chicken with 7 laps to go.
Two Saubers still getting stuck into each other. Fraser not going to be happy with how this race has gone after being third before the pit stop window arrived. Now running 8th with a 3-second penalty looming over his head as well. Diogo Silva clatters the curb going through turn number 11, but is this his best opportunity to try and get past the ailing Aston Martin of TRT Jan, gaining all the time as that McLaren deploying the ERS. Are we going to see a move over to the inside? Jan goes defensive and Diogo Silva a little bit passive there.
Yeah, it was. I saw it, and when he saw Jan go to the inside, he thought, you know, let's try it later. And now he's right behind him now. Is there a move coming in turn 15? There's not. Defensive move right at the end. Oh, hold on, no, this is a switchback. It's a switchback. He was thinking about it, and now McKillany trying to get up the inside, nearly pulled it off, but can't get it. And he's got his teammate behind him as well. He's thinking about it, now we've got 6 to go. Forget about the top 2. This is the real battle. Just in the second round, you want to make an impression now. Coleman goes to the inside insane and is still fighting out the corner. Now, any crash here will pretty much neutralise the race and bring out a safety car. So he's got to be very careful not infecting the entire race as Christian goes into third place and he gets pushed as there's another battle between the two stakes. Kick Saubers and the Jan as well. Jan still in 5th place as McKillany and Diogo Silva come through the S's. How did they not make contact there? That is unbelievable. But Fraser is getting in all sorts of trouble with Diogo Silva coming through the S's too.
Daylight robbery from McKillany there, mugging Diogo Silva coming through turn number 2. The McLaren caught completely unawares in his attempts to try and get past the Aston Martin of Jan, and now on the defensive again with Fraser nibbling at his heels. He's going to hold on to 7th place. Jan is a bit wide there, then McKillany almost into the side of the Aston Martin, both of them struggling to hold on to places. Through goes the kick Sauber. This is going to be like child's play. Diogo Silva and Fraser going to try and file through as well, but Fraser wanting to get past the McLaren also. Diogo Silva struggling to hold on to places. Coolman and Jan in there as well. We could be 3 wide. It's the RB sending it around the outside. Beautifully done by Coolman, getting past Diogo Silva. Yeehaw around the outside as now Jan getting swallowed up by both kick Saubers.
Giddy up, Cowboy, as they come through now, Jan, and try and get that position back. There's absolute chaos here in Austin as Yanil goes back down to 10th place and still hiding behind Diogo Silva. Coleman pushing Jan around. He's fed up at this. He wants through, and he wants through now. He's going all over the place, as you can see. And we've lost him again. Anyway, fighting now, down into the first corner once again. 5 to go here in Austin. Here goes Coleman on the move. Oh, and
bit of contact.
Yeah, he bashed him around Jan. But now he's down at 8th. This strategy backfired. It looked promising, but that was just the start. He's not felt the after effects until now. By the way, Epic Vale is pulling ahead. Could this be another Haas victory?
Must have been a mistake from Finlay because that gap has opened out very quickly indeed. And SRT Christian gaining time hand over fist. Finlay might not even finish on the podium here at this stage.
Well, there's a long way to go, just remember. Oh, and that's the Haas's. Not the Haas's. What's happening?
It's the McLaren and Diogo Silva defending from Yanel, both getting glued onto each other through turn number 11. The Saubers swapping places as well. Zane trying to get back involved and pick up a couple more places. Civil war resumed down into turn number 12 between Yanel and Diogo Silva. Later on the brakes as the Mercedes, bit of a wobble on the exit. Diogo Silva trying to retaliate around the outside. No space there though. Diogo Silva, who was in 6th a couple of laps ago, now down in 10th.
Yeah, they're starting to close up to each other, all the drivers. At the top as well, look, the gap's 1.8, 1.2. Have they saved their energy for last? I'll tell you what, they probably have. Epic Vale has got a lot of energy, though, compared to Finlay, so it's not looking good for him. But it's still a long ways to go. If there's a late intervention, oh dear, imagine. Anyway, 4 to go. No safety car yet as well. They're free, I think, last time.
Epic Vale must have made a mistake as well because he's lost a second to Finlay, who hasn't exactly pulled away from Christian or Yasisaki. Penalty for Jan, that could be crucial in his attempt to try and hold on to as many points as possible. Going through the S's, the two Saubers still involved in quite the tussle. Yasisaki pushing the Ferrari of SRT Christian and pushing him into a mistake because that could be podium gone for the driver currently holding third as the Ferrari picks up a 3-second penalty.
A penalty he did not want, and now he's going to have to defend his life. He's not going to finish on the podium. It's going to be Saki. He's going to at least stop him from getting any chance at the win and leave it to the top two. Christian defending for his life. Now he's got to be very careful how to navigate this. He gets through, and Saki now into P3, but he's got a long way to go to get it first. So it may be, as there's a lot of fights going on there. That is the two kick-savers. And one of them getting pushed off the road. And now he's going to try and take the inside. Although there was Coolman's corner, to be fair. So he might try to... Oh, and there's a snap from Fraser. And he will not get that back. But the switchback from Fraser against Coolman as they come through the final few turns of this track. And he's went off the track. That's not what you want to do, Christian, as Finlay gets a penalty. Now Finlay's not going to win this race. Surely it's all Epic Vale unless he gets a penalty. It's all starting to fall apart as I think Saki had to get that position back. I think he's doing that on purpose so he doesn't have to, mess around. You've been cutting off a lot, by the way.
That is not ideal at all.
Yeah, you've been speaking at some points. You've been muted.
I haven't pressed the mute button. I've been shouting away enthusiastically. But yeah, Finlay with that penalty, crucial stuff. Yasisaki though was the next challenger maybe to Epic Vale, but that has fallen by the wayside with SRT Christian getting back through, and Yasisaki now 6/10 off the back of the Ferrari. Epic Vale still 1.4 clear. Evan Nye, that'll be a retirement in the pit lane. What battle do we need to look for? It's the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th, because the two Saubers and the RB of Coolman have been getting stuck into each other for the past few laps.
Yeah, they have, and it looks like Coolman's going to have a shot. There's 3 to go, by the way, and he gets past McKillany. Both have penalties, so they will even out. Actually, I should check. No, Coleman's got 6 seconds of penalties.
Yikes. That is quite the yikes moment. Fastest lap goes to Lawrence, who is currently running in last place. That is not going to be... that's not going to be a sweetener for the race that the Alpine driver has had. Janil still very much in the equation. Diogo Silva's charge has very much stalled as well in the McLaren and could still drop outside of the points temporarily, although doesn't have a penalty, so would potentially jump all the way back up into 5th place, Diogo Silva.
Absolutely. So, 2 laps to go. It looks like we may have our podium. It'll probably be Epic Vale, Yasser Saki, Finlay at this rate.
Saki's just got to be a tad careful with that gap to Finlay. Currently sat at 2.1 seconds. If SRT Christian plays any silly games, that Mercedes is still in with a shout of finishing second on the road. Now 2.2 seconds. Saki just got to bear that in mind.
And Epic Vale, if he gets a penalty, then this might be interesting. Yasosaki might win the race. What's his penalties like, by the way? Epic Vale's penalties.
I can have a look. I haven't seen Epic Vale going off the track too many times. I think it's only no warnings for Epic Vale. I thought I saw one on there.
That's
that was
then.
For a collision.
That'll probably be it then. Look at this battle happening for 5th place. Although,
oh no, Epic Vale picked up 2 warnings this lap.
Oh dear. So Epic Vale's got to be careful. We might lose this race to Yasosaki. Oh
Very
dear.
much not all over.
He's 3.5 seconds behind. He just needs to get past Christian. And then, if he can make up some time, then he's got it. He's got to be careful, Epic Vale. I'm going to turn on the leader now. As you can see, 3-6. He needs to make up 6 attempts to be in as a shout. Final lap. So it looks like, actually, he's 1 second behind. It won't matter because, of course, Epic Vale would still win the race. Was providing he doesn't get penalties. So, yeah, it now has to be half a second. He has to get past Christian. He's just only going to hold him up here.
Yano, meanwhile, has pushed Jan further down the order. The Aston Martin dropping to 9th place. That strategy got him trap position earlier on, but hasn't worked out in the end. Only, going to get no points, in fact, with that penalty looming over his head. And
look at this. Finlay's in DRS range. Not that it matters, of course, because he's got another penalty for Fraser.
Fraser's going to drop down a decent chunk as well. Might even fall out of the points, that kick Sauber.
And why Epic Vale's defending, he's still going to win this race as it stands. Half a second. 4 attempts.
Oh, Yasusaki's under 3 seconds.
But it's not over. He's still going to cross the line. Look at all this battling happening behind. That is Diogo Silva insane. And look at that. That's Jan pushed off the track. 3 wide into turn 13, and Diogo Silva is through both Aston Martins. We're going to cut away as there's a battle between the 2 Saubers and one of the V-Carbs as well. Saki's not within 3 seconds. Doesn't matter, because I think Epic Veil is going to come across and take victory. Here at Austin, he keeps it clean and is going to win in Austin.
Who's going to finish off the podium? Yassis, Akin, Finlay, SRT, Christian missing out. Dragros over the line. The Saubers, the RBs, the Aston Martins and the McLarens. It was Fraser who got kicked out from 6th down into 11th by just under 300ths of a second off the back of Jan. Diogo Silva ends up 6th behind McIlhenny, who did very well. Zane picks up a decent haul of points, as well as Janel. Coolman with those 6 seconds dropping from 7th to 9th, 5th to 9th, sorry, in that RB car.
And look at that, Epic Veil, if he got that penalty, he played it safe, and I can't blame him. He played it safe, and if he didn't, then he could have lost that race at the very end. So Yasser Saki is your winner by 2.8 seconds, quite the gap as well. It didn't rain as well.
Should be noted, though, that Epic Veil would have been sweaty because Yasisaki under 3 seconds behind the Haas. If he did get a 3rd warning and pick up a penalty, the Alpine would have stolen it right at the last gasp.
Yeah. And look at that. Christian going from 13th to 4th.
Yeah, a lot of big movers in there.
It's another win for Haas then. They go up to, I believe it's 45 points, and Epic Veil takes the championship lead.
After what can only be described as a stinker for Sergio. The unfortunate for last week's race winner got caught out by the timing in qualifying, and then, well, just a disaster of a race, just getting caught up in a couple of incidents, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, so Christian goes on to 13 points. I do believe Finlay goes in P3, will go up to 19 points. No, sorry, 15 points. As we get the champagne flowing. Yeah, so that could be on 14 points. No, sorry, Finlay will be on 13 points. My apologies. But Epic Veil will be on 29 points now. So big moment for him in this. Nobody's getting the fastest lap because it was set by the driver that was in 16th, 131.81. We see no point for getting the fastest lap, I guess. It's getting removed next season anyway, so might be the same in PSGL, we won't know. There you go, it's another win for Haas. Not the 1-2 like it was last time, but still another win, and they go up to 45 points in this championship. Finlay will get a point, by the way, so actually Finlay will be on 14 points. My apologies. New championship leader.
Yeah, well, that was a fun one, though, wasn't it?
It was, indeed.
Slightly cleaner than last week, although some drivers may disagree with that statement, but that was an enjoyable one to watch. Some good racing for the most part.
Yeah,
I think pretty pleased with that one.
Epic Veil and Finlay couldn't keep their hands off each other for most of the race.
No, they could not.
Just a reminder to check out those sponsors we have. That's GT Omega and Sim Racing Centre. Get those discounts, PSGL, the code. And next week we will be in Belgium. The Circuit de Spa Francorchamps.
Legendary circuit.
Yeah, back when it was 15 kilometres long. Used to be. I should have got that in the future installment they get in the game. The classic layouts, including that one.
Bit of DLC. I think that is us sorted for this week.
So we will see you next week, same time, same place, 7 o'clock, 4th of November as well, my dad's birthday. He'll be 57 and he'll be on holiday while he's doing it. Shocking, eh?
Oh, happy birthday to him for a week's time.
57 years old. Right, we'll see you next week for this third round. Go tune in to F1 right now. I'll see you next time. Good night.